There is a dangerous problem that affects some of the most intelligent and successful people I work with. They understand their problem. They've read the books. They've listened to the podcasts. They've done the courses. They can explain their childhood patterns, leadership style, attachment patterns, business challenges, and probably tell you which neurotransmitter is having a bad Tuesday. Yet, the same problem keeps returning. Why? Because understanding your pattern is not the same as transforming the architecture producing it. Hello from beautiful Curaçao. I'm about to begin another day of my invitation-only Climb Greater Heights training retreat. Working privately and intensively with a client who have chosen to invest not merely in acquiring more information, but in transforming how they think, decide, communicate, lead, create wealth, and live purposefully. And this morning I want to give you 3 things to think about. 1. Information doesn't automatically create transformation. Your conscious mind can know exactly what needs changing, while deeply conditioned responses keep producing something entirely different. I've seen this repeatedly in my work with highly accomplished people from all professions. A client can know they should delegate and still control everything. Know they need boundaries and still say yes. Know their relationship requires better communication and still avoid withdrawal. Now the business needs transformation and keep protecting yesterday's model. Know their body is exhausted and still treat rest like laziness. Knowledge can describe the prison without opening the door. That's why the work I do goes beyond information, beyond traditional coaching and advisory work. We examine the human being as a system. Your values, your beliefs, your identity, your emotional associations with events that have been running your entire life. Conscious and unconscious behavior. We look at your physiology, your psychology, your relationships, your leadership, your decision making. Then we also look into the business, internal and external aspects of every part of the business, as I speak about in my book, Climb Greater Heights. Then we look at the money, the psychology of money. We fixed versus ever-evolving purpose you may have. And increasingly the relationship between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Because you cannot optimize one part of human life indefinitely while neglecting the system around it. Number 2, your results are feedback from your internal and external architecture. Think about Curaçao. Look at this ocean. What you see at the surface tells you very little about everything happening underneath it. Human beings are similar. People see the title, the company, the house, the revenue, the car, the awards, the marriage, the LinkedIn profile, the success. I look underneath. That's why clients from around the world invest in this work, because underneath the visible achievement may be fear, may be doubt, over responsibility, may be guilt, may be unresolved anger, may be a need for validation, scarcity, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, an inability to receive, or an identity constructed decades ago from survival that is now trying to run a multi-million or billion-pound vision for some of you. You cannot build tomorrow's empire using yesterday's survival identity as its operating system. That's one worth writing down. 3, change becomes expensive when you keep postponing it. People sometimes ask me why clients invest substantially in working with me privately in locations around the world. My answer is simple. They are not investing in 5 days Climb Greater Heights. They are investing in what those 5 days may change in the years that follow. Time has a price. Confusion has a price. A dysfunctional leadership team has a price. A deteriorating relationship has a price. For some of you, it could be millions. And for people like Bezos, billions. This poor decision has a price. Playing beneath your capability has a price. And spending another 5 years repeatedly solving the same internal problem can become extraordinarily expensive. The relevant question, therefore, isn't only what will transformation cost me if you are thinking about it. A wiser question is, what is remaining unchanged already costing me? That shift transforms your life. In money, in opportunity, in relationship, in health, your mental, your physical, your emotional health, your financial health, in peace, in influence, in years of your life. These principles runs throughout my books, including A Path to Wisdom, #Loneliness, The Unfakeable Code, A Path to Excellence, Climb Greater Heights, The Entrepreneurial Journey, through the educational programs I've developed over a decade now. But immersion, like places like this, is very different, because there comes a stage where another book, another podcast, or another weekend conference are insufficient. You need a clear mirror you cannot negotiate with. You need expertise, you need challenge, you need strategy, you need integration, and you need someone capable of seeing connections you cannot easily see while standing inside your own life or business. That's why clients invest months in advance to attend. Not because they are weak. Many are exceptionally capable and intelligent. They invest because high performance understand leverage. They employ specialists for law, for tax, for investment, for technology, for medicine. Yet, strangely, many people leave the most consequential system of all without specialist guidance. And here it started raining in here. But I will continue, the human being making every one of those decisions. So as I begin today's work here in Curaçao, I leave you with 3 questions. What pattern in your life have you understood for years but still haven't transformed? What is maintaining what pattern costing you? And what could you become when you finally stop managing the symptoms and transform their source? Those of you ready for that depth of work, it's wise to explore the books and educational programs first. And for those select leaders, entrepreneurs, executives, couples, and high achievers from all professional backgrounds, intensive personality transformation, my private advisory and invitation-only 5-day Climber Greater Heights intensive training retreats are designed around you, not around generic curriculum. Because ultimately, the greatest distance you'll ever travel isn't London or Curaçao. It is the distance between the person your history conditioned you to become and the person your future is asking you to embody. If you mean abrupt, yes, it needs naturally a signature sign-off to turn this into something beautiful for you. As you can see, the rain is pouring, and I have to go back into the training room and continue working with my clients. So I'm going to leave you with one message worth sharing and worth embodying in your daily life. The greatest version of you is what will change not only you, but everybody around you. With love from Curaçao.